You know, feelings were never meant to be leaders. Let me tell you what most people try to do, and it's a costly mistake. As soon as I feel motivated, I'll start. As soon as I feel confident, I'll apply. As soon as I feel inspired, I'll get serious. That's like a farmer saying, as soon as I feel like spring, I'll plant. Seasons don't take orders, and neither do moods. Some days you wake up and the sun is shining in your heart. Other days you wake up and it's cloudy for no good reason. If you tie your future to the weather in your chest, you'll have a very unpredictable life. Now, I'm not asking you to pretend you don't have moods. I'm asking you to stop negotiating with them. Because the moment you begin bargaining with your emotions, you hand them authority. You say, if you're happy, I'll do the work. And your mood says, well, I'm not happy today. Then you say, if you're calm, I'll have the conversation. And your mood says, I'm not calm today. Next thing you know, your mood has a full-time job and you're unemployed. Here's what I've learned. The best day to start is not the day you feel great. The best day to start is the day you decide. You don't wait until you feel like it to do what's right. You do what's right and your feelings catch up later. You don't wait to feel like reading to become educated. You read. You don't wait to feel like saving to become financially strong. You save, and do it with a little faith. Faith is not pretending. Faith is acting before the evidence shows up. Because moods are like children sometimes. If you let them, they'll run the house. They'll eat candy for dinner and stay up all night and then complain the next morning that life is hard. And if you let your mood make decisions, it will choose short-term comfort and then hand you long-term pain. That's the trade. Comfort now, cost later. And most people don't see it because the bill doesn't show up the same day. The bill shows up weeks later, months later, years later. It shows up as regret. It shows up as lost strength. It shows up as, why didn't I start when I could have? You know, people say motivation is my problem. No. If motivation is your problem, it's because action is missing. Motivation doesn't come first. Motion comes first. Life rewards movement. When you start doing the disciplines, something strange happens. Your mind starts to respect you. Your heart starts to calm down. Your confidence starts to grow. Not because you gave yourself a pep talk, but because you gave yourself proof. The truth is, your mood listens to your track record. And when your track record says, I do what I said I would do, your mood starts behaving better. It doesn't get perfect, but it gets more cooperative. Let me put it like this. If you're waiting to feel brave before you take action, you'll be waiting a long time. Courage is not a feeling that shows up and gives you a hug. Courage is what you do while your knees are still shaking. If you're waiting to feel disciplined before you take action, you'll be waiting forever. Discipline is not a feeling. Discipline is a decision repeated and repeated and repeated until it becomes part of who you are. And the real breakthrough is when you realize you can't control the weather, but you can control the sail. Some days the wind is with you and you feel strong, you feel sharp, you feel ready. Great.
Melissa Vanderright, and my spa is called Salt Earth Massage and Dry Salt Therapy. Well, I've been in the spa industry for 29 years. Last month, when I started 11 months ago, I was $110,000 in debt and stressed to the max. And now we are almost completely debt free and on our way to making a profit. So I'd say do it.
In terms of the online leads, have you seen maybe the leads go up by 5% or 10%? Or is there any kind of maybe doubled or around the same? Or how would you describe that to somebody in terms of the increase of online leads?
I don't know if I could not do a percentage, but I will say, like, I've already had 4 this morning while I was getting ready to come to work or come to, well, I guess this is work, but come to do this interview. I had 4 people reach out online. We didn't have, I mean, we had like a website, we had some social media stuff, you know, occasionally we would get a lifetime value client from that. But for the most part, I would say we get on average 15 leads a week now where I don't know that we were getting hardly any at all, maybe one a month to a month before we
And you're
started
getting
working.
like 15 leads a week, and you used to get one a month?
Yeah, pretty much.
So would it be safe to say maybe you're getting 50 or 60 a month, and you used to get one a month? Would that be
Yes, that would probably be accurate.
okay?
Maybe two a month, maybe two.
Okay, so I just want to make sure, because someone out there's watching this right now and they have a great product or great service, but they don't have any leads. You're saying you might get, back in the day, 2 leads a month, and now you're getting 50 or 60. Is that accurate?
Yes, very accurate.
How would you describe the workshops and maybe the impact that has had on your business?
It's been huge. It makes you not feel alone because there aren't very many entrepreneur-minded people out there. But I just have learned so much, and just the energy. For me, I feed off of other people's energy, and I don't want to be around energy that's not fun and growth oriented. And I've learned so much. I mean, it's been amazing to see the speakers and to hear the questions that other people have to ask, and just the camaraderie of it has been awesome. I really am grateful for those.
Unless you maintain your own car, which is rare, most people take their car to a trusted mechanic. However, for some reason, people have a business that is not doing well, and they often don't think, I should hire a coach to guide me down a proven plan. Could you talk about the impact that having a coach or a coaching team with our team has made overall on your business, kind of getting you from where you are to where you ultimately want to get to?
It's been huge. Like, I know, for me, the very first business I bought, I was 19 and it was a franchise. So it already had systems in place, but I still was being controlled by somebody else. And I knew I wanted to have control and create my own thing. But I have the creativeness and I have ideas for systems and processes to keep me on the right track to success, but the implementation, and then I don't have all the ideas. I mean, you guys know what you're doing. And so it has just made it so much easier for me, almost like a plug and play. Now, I do still have to work, but I'm open to learning because I do want to be the best. And I have big dreams that I know I cannot reach by myself, and having Andrew to hold me accountable, or when I'm in here and just, hey, atta girl, whatever. That's the other thing, is it's nobody really thanks the owner of the business very often. And so having somebody who occasionally feels like, they're like, yeah, good job, because nobody else says that.
Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. Acta non verba is the motto of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. I had appointments to Naval Academy and Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy. And Merchant Marine Academy's motto was acta non verba. In other words, don't listen to what a person says. Watch what they do. Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you. So congratulations.
All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, we're celebrating a woman who's on the path to success. This is a woman who is growing her business. She's passionate about her clients, and I wanted to take a moment to celebrate her success, her journey up the path to success. Success, it's not an overnight thing. It's a lot of steps you have to take from where you are to where you want to be. She's taken those steps. She's beginning to have more and more success, and I wanted to share with you her success story. Melissa, welcome onto the Thrivetime Show. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, Clay?
I'm doing great. And for people out there that want to verify you're not a hologram, could you share with us your first and last name and the name of your company?
Melissa Vanderright, and my spa is called Salt Earth Massage and Dry Salt Therapy.
And for people out there that are not familiar with you, when did you decide to get involved in this particular industry?
Well, I've been in the spa industry for 29 years. Last month, dry salt therapy, I first found in about 2013, and then we opened in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic.
Wow. Okay. So you picked a good time to open. A high touch business in a time of no touch social
Exactly.
distancing. Yeah. Okay. So you open the business, and I think a lot of people get excited about the idea. A lot of people get excited about the idea. They want to become a dentist, a doctor, a massage therapist, whatever. And then at a certain point, you go, man, I'm going to need to sell something to somebody soon. Did you ever have that moment where you thought to yourself, wow, I probably need to market in more effectively or get some customers here sooner? Have you ever had that moment?
Absolutely. We lived on word of mouth for a long time. And actually were profitable the first 2 years. And then somebody else's bad choice took me out um, of being able to do massage. And so we've actually taken out over $100,000 in loans just to stay open.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow. So you've been fighting through some adversity here. Now, what I wanted to
yes.
do on today's show is I wanted to celebrate some of the early wins you're having here. So I'm going to pull it up here. I have a book that I have written for anybody if they want to download this book. It's a millionaire's guide to becoming sustainably rich. It's a book I've written to teach people specifically how to start and grow a super successful company. And the path to doing so, there's a lot of steps, but I want to focus on 14 on today's show. Box number one, or step number one, you really have to know your revenue goals. And I'm not asking you to share your revenue goals with our listeners, but why is it important that box one and box two, that you know your revenue goals and that you know how many customers or patients you need to see just to break even?
Well, you can't get to somewhere if you don't know where you're going. I feel like
Yeah.
I got to know where I'm going before I can know how to get there.
And I think most entrepreneurs, don't typically keep those numbers in front of them every day, which is why we work with you on a tracking sheet. Could you talk about the importance of having a weekly meeting and then a tracking sheet that you look at weekly, as opposed to, most entrepreneurs by default will look at their numbers quarterly, annually. Most people don't look at them weekly. Could you talk about maybe the benefits or lack thereof of looking at your numbers on a weekly basis?
Well, I don't, it just keeps me knowing where I am and what I got to do to get where I want to go. And then also to communicate that to my team, get them involved in it so they can help us get there because I need them to reach the goals that we've set.
I'm going to pull this up real quick because this is so important for people to see. Again, for anybody, if you want to download this book for free and you want to download it for free today, again, it's called A Millionaire's Guide, How to Become Sustainably Rich, a step-by-step guide to building a successful money-generating and time freedom-creating business. And I encourage everybody out there, you can download it for free by going to thrivetimeshow.com/free resources. So thrivetimeshow.com/free resources. And there you can download every book I've ever written for free. And we do that for you. So you'll have a guidebook. And we're talking about page 5 of this book right now. So moving on now, box number 3, you got to figure out how many hours per week you're willing to work. You must figure out how many hours per week you're willing to work. Now, you are a very hard worker. Some entrepreneurs start with us and they maybe don't have quite the drive yet, and they need some inspiration to get that accountability, that work ethic. You've always been a super hard worker. Could you talk about the importance of being realistic about how many hours per week that you're willing to put into your business?
Yeah, that's probably a place I've had to dial back a little bit. I amped it up, and sometimes I amp it up a little more. It's interesting. It goes back and forth, but yeah, sometimes I work 40 hours a week on the business, but most of the time it's about 50 to 60 hours with everything that I'm doing. But I am moving to where we're working on the processes more and procedures and getting those duplicated. So that is giving me a little more time freedom.
Now, moving on to box number 4, you have to figure out your unique value proposition. What is it that separates you from your competition? That is so important that everybody out there, you figure out what is it that makes your company different from your competition. Could you explain what makes your company different from maybe other massage therapy or businesses that may perceive, customers may consume, they may perceive some of your competitors to be similar, but could you explain what makes you at saltearthliving.com different from your competition?
Well, one of the things, I mean, I think all spas aim for this, but we really, really do provide an atmosphere that helps our clients be seen or feel seen. But as far as uniqueness, we do have some services that other area spas don't have, which is dry salt therapy. And we are actually adding colon hydrotherapy.
Explain what that is if we want to know. What does that mean?
Colon hydrotherapy is where someone cleanses your entire intestines gently with water. Just kind of gives you a fresh start if you've had a lot of antibiotics or illnesses or things like that.
Wow. Okay. That is an interesting service. I have not ever thought of offering that service to our clients, and we continue. So, again, that website is saltearthliving.com. And we're moving on to box number 5. Branding is a big thing. I mean, if at the end of the day, if you have a great product and nobody can find you, it doesn't matter. I repeat, if you've got a great product or a great service and people can't find you, that's a problem. Could you talk for a second or share with us for a second? Andrew, who works as your implementer and works with you each week to help you grow your company, Andrew was saying that you've experienced an increase in the number of leads you're getting off of Google. Absolutely. Specifically. Could you talk about that, or what kind of growth have you seen in terms of inbound leads with customers finding you online?
Substantial. Like, I don't even know how to measure it. Because we weren't really getting a ton at the time, but we have now, with the 3-leg marketing, we mostly do signs. Of course, we're getting reviews. We've done video reviews and getting more into the Dream 100 now. But like, your team designed us a banner. We happened to sit by a Starbucks drive-through. And so you guys designed us a banner for us to put out that says, Starbucks customers, we $49 massage. So we've got our big offer, and we have gotten so many. Starbucks was already pretty much our number one marketing strategy, I guess, but you guys just amplified that dramatically. So.
If you had to quantify, I'm not trying to paint you into a corner or ask you to provide a number that's not real, but in terms of the online leads, have you seen maybe the leads go up by 5% or 10%, or is there any kind of maybe doubled or around the same, or how would you describe that to somebody in terms of the increase of online leads?
I don't know if I could not do a percentage, but I will say, like, I've already had 4 this morning while I was getting well, I guess this is work, but come to do this interview. I had 4 people reach out online. We had like a website, we had some social media stuff. Occasionally we would get a lifetime value client from that. But for the most part, I would say we get on average 15 leads a week now, where I don't know that we were getting hardly any at all, maybe 1 a month, 2 a month.
And you're getting like 15 leads a week, and you used to get 1 a month?
Yeah, pretty much.
So would it be safe to say maybe you're getting 50 or 60 a month, and you used to get 1 a month? Would that be?
Yes. That would probably be accurate.
Okay.
Maybe 2 a month, maybe 2.
Okay. So I just want to make sure, because someone out there's watching this right now and they have a great product or great service, but they don't have any leads. You're saying you might get, back in the day, 2 leads a month, and now you're getting 50 or 60. Is that accurate?
Yes, very accurate.
Okay. So everybody out there, if you're watching this, I'm telling you, you can definitely increase your leads. Now, some things you've been doing, I want to brag on. You've been doing the Dream 100 system. And the Dream 100 system is where you're reaching out to centers of influence to generate referrals. So you say, well, how are we growing the business? There's a 3-legged marketing stool. Leg number 1, search engine optimization. Leg number 2, the Dream 100. And leg number 3, signs and wonders. Yes, signs that make people wonder. You talked about the signs. We're putting up prominent signs right there in front of the busy Starbucks. That's working. Leg number 2, we talked about search engine optimization. There's a lot of detail for how we do that, but it's working for you. And the leg number 3 is this Dream 100. Could you explain to our listeners out there, what has that process been like, or what has that process been like for you at your business?
For us, we've just been, so far, we've just dove into a lot of the relationships we had already created through social media, but there are people who are in our community. So we visited people who are close to our business and talked to them about what we're doing, offered them free salt room treatments, just kind of getting them in the spa to see what we do and getting them to know us. Because when people know you, they can generate a like and a trust for you, and they'll refer you to other people, their clients. But then we've also, like recently, we did a collaboration in January with several other wellness-oriented businesses in the South Tulsa area. And so just 2 days ago, I had a lady come in where she wasn't even playing bingo. She wasn't participating, but she was there when we had a party at another one of the businesses. She came in, her daughter has been in 5 times. they bought 3 gift certificates for other people, and she was there. So just off that one person who wasn't even participating in our deal, the Dream 100, it's just really been beneficial. Yeah.
Now, Natalie joins us on mic, but off camera. You met Natalie there just briefly.
Yes.
Natalie, Melissa does such a phenomenal job of asking her real customers for real objective Google reviews after the service. She does a phenomenal job doing that. Melissa, you do a great job with that. What question would you have for Melissa on behalf of maybe some of your clients, Natalie, that are newer, that maybe are resistant to asking customers to leave objective reviews?
Yeah, I think a lot of my clients ask, how do I ask them? So I'm curious, how do you approach your customers when asking for a review?
We actually, when people come out from massage, usually they're pretty happy. So what we do, we ask them, okay, how was your service? And they usually say, Rachel was amazing, or Daisy was amazing, or Emma was amazing. And we say, well, great. Would you mind helping us or helping her by leaving a review? This helps her get more clients. And then if you think she's amazing, more people can find out that she's amazing.
So you're doing it. You're asking. Some people say yes, some people say no, but you're asking it again. Just to be clear, Melissa, can you restate for someone out there that might have missed it? Your leads have gone from how many leads per month to how many leads per month? There's somebody out there who's going, what did you just say?
I think your math was 2. I do know the 2. That was pretty easy. To about 60 a month.
For anybody out there, think about it. Folks, think about it. If you're watching this show and that's your business, please do what Melissa's doing. Implement the proven systems. Now, the next step. So step number 1 is that marketing. We had to do them. Again, for anybody just taking notes, what did we have to do? We had to start off with the box number 1. We had to know our numbers. Okay. Then our break even numbers, right? Then you're going through all these systems. It's not just one system. So it's not just, oh, wow, she's good at optimizing her website. Now she's busy. No. We had to get the revenue goals figured out. Step 2, we had to know the break even number. Step 3, we had to know how many hours per week we're willing to work. Step number 4, we had to figure out our unique value proposition. Step 5, we had to improve the branding, which means the website. That means the anything that the consumer sees. Now, branding goes into the actual business, the experience, the sights, the sounds, the smells. And Melissa, you've diligently implemented a certain playlist now in the locations. You've really gone into enhancing the experience. Can you talk about putting in processes for the actual in-spa experience, or implementing a process for, hey, this is the music we're going to play in the spa. This is the sights. This is the sounds. This is the smell. Could you talk about branding inside the spa and what kind of an impact that's made for your customer experience?
It's been huge. I will say that working with Andrew on that, by him breaking it down to me, I was able to figure out how to communicate it to my team the best I can. So we have implemented a speaker system, and yes, there is a very specific playlist because we are trying to create an atmosphere of feeling for sure. And so it does involve what you hear from the moment they come in. We've got now specific kind of oil diffusers everywhere. So there's a certain smell that you're like, my brain turns on. Okay, now it's time to relax because I got this smell. Smiles, that's another one. What does that make you feel? I've literally been texting somebody. We're creating a signature snack to give to all of our clients as they leave to kind of get the taste, or you've got crystal infused water. I think that's it. Well, and what you see, we have all the same colors, and we're actually got uniforms on the way. And so just creating that cohesive experience so that everything blends also, so that when the client comes in, they don't have to think, they can just be free to have an experience.
Now, Natalie, as we're celebrating Melissa doing this, I mean, she's on step 5 here. She's implementing the branding, sights, sounds, smells, even going with the uniforms, the entire intentional greeting process, the customer experience process. Everything's intentional and it's designed to wow. Would you have any question for Melissa or questions for Melissa about that? Because again, you work with great clients, and many clients might say, well, why do I need to be intentional about my playlist or my on-hold music or my scripts or my interaction? And Melissa's doing all those things. What question would you have for Melissa?
When it comes to sights, sounds, and smells inside, when you first started, was that something you were thinking about? And how did you feel when you and Andrew started talking about it?
I think I always did think about it. It was subconscious, but Andrew, with the questions and the way he pointed it out, just, I think, helped pulled out what was already inside of me and helped me communicate it.
Got it. And again, for everybody out there, so much of entrepreneurship is you're so busy. And if you're busy working in your business, you never take time out to work on your business. And that's what we want to do here. So box number 5, you got to nail down that branding. Box number 6, we talked about it earlier, the 3-legged marketing stool. You're doing it. And what is the 3-legged marketing stool that we're doing specifically to grow this business? Again, folks, it's sights and sounds. Okay. We're using sights and sounds in the store to wow people, sights, sounds, smells, experiences once they're in the store. But to generate new people coming in the store, we have a 3-legged marketing stool, which consists of the Dream 100. We talked about that. Signs and wonders, okay, making sure you have signs up that make people wonder, and making sure we're dominating those search engine results. Other things that you are implementing very well right now is hiring people. It turns out box 7, you got to create a sales conversion system. Box 8, you've got to create a sustainable customer acquisition tracking system. Box 9, you got to put in these processes and systems. But box number, if you move through this process, box number 10, you have to manage people. Box number 11, you're creating a sustainable weekly schedule. And box number 12, it's managing a group of people. And it's very hard to make anything work if you don't have good people who are willing to do the work. You know, nothing will work unless you do. You need actual people to implement these systems. I want to focus on that for a second, the hiring process. Most entrepreneurs tell me when I first start working with them, they say, you know, I really don't have a method about a method that I'm using to recruit talent. And so therefore, most clients I talk to say they struggle to find good people. That has not been a problem for me with my companies. And I don't want that to ever be a problem for our wonderful clients. I want every one of our clients to be able to find wonderful people, wonderful employees, teammates. Could you talk about the hiring processes and how implementing that has impacted your company?
Well, we've had a journey to get to that. I have done some of the group interviews, which I think are great. And so we have found people for one portion of our spa. The service providers, that's been a little bit hard, but I will say that it's interesting because the leads and all of that tie into my confidence as far as being willing to wait for the quality people. And I know a lot of business owners, they don't like the hire quick, fire quick thing, but I'm good with it. I have implemented those processes, like having people as contract at first for a certain amount of time and really being able to start recognizing you are not a fit for our team and realizing that our team deserves to have good people. And so I think that switch in me in that I guess I got from the confidence of learning from you guys that we deserve the best is part of what's changing. We're not accepting people who are not willing to commit and be a part of what we're doing and help us serve our clients.
Now, final question I had here for you is, or final questions or line of questioning is, so many people, they look at a pro athlete and who are very successful, and all pro athletes have a coach. Just every professional athlete, has a professional coach. Professionals have a coach. You look at Michael Jordan. Tim Grover was his strength coach. You look at Kobe Bryant. Tim Grover was his strength coach. You look at a top athlete, you say, okay, it's obvious they have a coach. Then you switch over to accounting. Everybody who's watching this show, if you have a business, you're probably going to have an accountant that helps you file your taxes. Why? Because they know what they're doing, and thus you won't go to jail for tax infractions, right? Another example, for everybody out there, if you drive a car, unless you maintain your own car, which is rare, most people take their car to a trusted mechanic. However, for some reason, people have a business that is not doing well, and they often don't think, I should hire a coach to guide me down a proven plan. Could you talk about the impact that having a coach or a coaching team with our team has made overall on your business, kind of getting you from where you are to where you ultimately want to get to?
It's been huge. Like I know, for me, the very first business I bought, I was 19 and it was a franchise. So it already had systems in place, but I still was being controlled by somebody else. And I knew I wanted to have control and create my own thing. But I have the creativeness and I have ideas for systems and processes to keep me on the right track to success, but the implementation, and then I don't have all the ideas. I mean, you guys know what you're doing. And so it has just made it so much easier for me, almost like a plug and play. Now I do still have to work, but I'm open to learning because I do want to be the best. And, I have big dreams that I know I cannot reach by myself, and having Andrew to hold me accountable, or, when I'm in here and just, hey, atta girl, whatever. That's the other thing is it's nobody really thanks the owner of the business very often. And so having somebody who occasionally feels like, they're like, yeah, good job, because nobody else says that. And if I got to pay you to do that, I'm good with that.
Now, the thing is, I pay my legal team. And by the way, I don't get a commission to say this, but I'll pull it up on the screen so people can see this. I don't get paid a commission to refer these guys, but Winner's King, I pay them to work with me on all my legal things I do. And I don't mind paying them because they know what they're doing. And I also like that they're nice people. And so I think sometimes what happens is if you're in business, you can feel lonely, you can feel alone, you can feel isolated, you can feel like you don't know what you're doing. And for the same reason, I would highly recommend that you don't go back to college to become a lawyer in order to understand the legal aspects of your business. I would highly recommend that you don't need to reinvent the wheel and become all of a sudden expert on business growth. All you need to do is reach out to a team that knows what they're talking about. My final two questions for anybody who hasn't been to our workshops before: how would you describe your experience at the workshops? And by the way, you've been a big part of the workshops. You came to one of them and provided complimentary massages for the attendees, and you've really encouraged other attendees just by being there. But how would you describe the workshops and maybe the impact that has had on your business?
It's been huge. It makes you not feel alone, because there aren't very many entrepreneur-minded people out there. But I just have learned so much, and just the energy. For me, I feed off of other people's energy, and I don't want to be around energy that's not fun and growth oriented. And I've learned so much. I mean, it's been amazing to see the speakers and to hear the questions that other people have to ask, and just the camaraderie of it has been awesome. I really am grateful for those.
Final question for anybody out there that is on the fence about scheduling a free 13-point assessment with our team, and AKA myself. What do you say to somebody who's going, I'm going to thrivetimeshow.com. I'm going up there right now, and I'm contemplating scheduling a free 13-point assessment. I've looked at thousands of testimonials, and I'm thinking about doing it. I know it's $1,700 a month. I know they have scholarships for people in need. I know it is month to month. I know they do video, photo, web, search engine, but from a client perspective, what do you say to somebody who's on the fence?
Well, when I started 11 months ago, I was $110,000 in debt and stressed to the max. And now we are almost completely debt free and on our way to making a profit. So I'd say do it.
Now, for anybody out there, if you say, well, Clay, I learned something on today's show, I would encourage you to go check out the website here, because what happens is when you visit our client's website, folks, it helps their website rank higher in the search results. So I encourage everybody out there, if you learned anything today, go to saltearthliving.com. That's saltearthliving.com. Visit the website. If you're in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, check them out, saltearthliving.com. Maybe you're coming for a workshop. Check them out, saltearthliving.com. And then finally, I would encourage you to share this show with one or two friends, because when you share on social media, it will help Melissa's website to rank higher in the search results. Melissa, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you. So congratulations.
Sean, guess what's happening? April 9th and 10th, 2026.
We are probably going to have an amazing business conference here at Tulsa, Jerusalem.
Yes, we're joined by Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is going to be joining us right here at the Thrivetime Show World Headquarters, June 5th and 6th. He's a very successful football player, obviously a Heisman Award winner, but he's also a very successful entrepreneur. Now, when you work with real clients, Sean, clients you really work with to help them grow their companies, do you ever hear a business owner tell you that they didn't have time to get something done?
Every day.
How often is not having enough time a problem for business owners?
All the time. It's like maybe 90% of the issues as people are trying to grow their company.
Well, Tim Tebow is going to come join us here at the in-person Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop, and he's going to teach us time management and his approach to personal self-discipline and getting things done. Also at the workshop, I'll pull it up on the website so people can see it here. Also at the 2-day interactive workshop, Sean, we are going to be, there it is. We're going to be teaching accounting, systems creation, marketing, human resources, how to hire, inspire, train, and retain great people, accounting, social media advertising, search engine optimization. Sean, what's the area where most clients ask you for help the most? Is it generating leads? Is it hiring people? What's the biggest issue that most business owners have by default before they come to one of our workshops?
Well, I think it's management, because time is the most valuable resource for these business owners, and being able to manage their time is the first thing. Once they get that under control, then generally the numbers, being able to track their business and be able to make the best decisions based on numbers rather than emotions is a big area. And we teach all of this stuff at the business conference, particularly you, Clay. You love to hammer on time management. It's my favorite part of the conference.
Now, I'm going to pull this up real quick here because we're going to go through. If you're not excited, I want to get you excited about what we're going to cover at the workshop here. Okay.
All right.
The 2-day interactive workshop. This is my 20th year hosting workshops. So I'm telling you, folks, we're in rare form here. So one is the idea of establishing your revenue goals. I think most entrepreneurs don't know their revenue goals. Would you agree, or am I off my rocker?
No, that's totally a very important point we do with every one of our new clients that come on board, is we have to establish the revenue goals. And generally speaking, we have a vague idea, but not an exact idea that can be engineered down into like the daily goals for sales. And so that's a really big one.
Now, next is the break-even numbers. What kind of sales do you have to do to even break even?
Yeah.
Third is, how many hours per week do you want to work? What is your ideal schedule as an entrepreneur? Box number 4, how do you stand out in the clutter of commerce? What makes your company unique from all the different businesses? In a world of brown cows, herds of brown cows, proverbial brown cows, the analogy of brown cows, how can you be the purple cow that stands out? How can you be the squeaky wheel that gets the oil? Box number 5, branding. How do you improve the perception that people have of you, your business, your brand? Box number 6, marketing, your 3-legged marketing stool. What is a turnkey way for you and your company to generate leads so you can succeed? Because if you don't have any leads, your business will bleed. If you can't sell, your business will go to hell. You've got to generate leads. Sean, how often do business owners by default tell you they have a hard time generating leads?
It's almost all of the time. It's really a huge struggle. And many times they may be creating leads, but just through word of mouth. So they get to a point where we've implemented systems, and then they need to create more leads, but they've never had to do it. So there's a lot of different scenarios where business owners are like, how do you create leads? Something we hammer on at the conference a lot.
Box number 7, create a sales conversion system. Again, box number 7, create a sales conversion system. Sales scripts, recorded calls, one-sheets, pre-written emails, lead trackers, all of the sales tools, the sales print pieces, the one-sheets, the big screens that you see inside the business. Whether you're a doctor, you're a dentist, you're a lawyer, you got to have sales systems in place. We help you with that. Box number 8, what does it cost you to get another customer? Step number 8, what does it cost you to actually acquire a customer? Step number 9, it's hard to build an organization if you're not organized. We're going to teach you how to create repeatable systems, processes, file organization. Box number 10, we're going to teach you how to manage people, real people on the planet Earth. This just in, we're going to teach you how to manage real people on the planet Earth. Box number 11, how to create a sustainable schedule that works for you and your family. Step number 12, how to create human resources systems for recruiting, hiring, training, and retaining great people. Box number 13, accounting. This just in, we have to cover accounting. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. We're going to cover all the accounting things you need to know. And step 14, finally, what is the point of even achieving success? We're going to go over what is the point of even achieving success, how to design a life that you're excited about, how to design a life where you carve out enough time for your faith, your family, your finance, your fitness, your friendship, your fun, and where you're going to spend your focused time. We're going to go through that, all this and more. Now, the workshop, Sean, it's April 9th and 10th. It's a 2-day interactive workshop.
Yes.
And tickets, we always do it. It's $250 or whatever price that someone can afford. Sean, why do we let people name their price? Why do we have scholarship tickets available if somebody can't afford the $250 general admission ticket?
Well, we don't want anybody to miss out on it. You know, you could be at a startup phase or you could be, you know, way along in your business, but we want to make it accessible for everybody. I think it actually goes back to a story of your dad, and like it goes all the way back to how you've always done this as a business coach, trying to make sure that, you know, your average people out there have access to the things that work.
Now, 7 a.m. to 5. Sean, why do we go from 7 to 5 both days? I mean, it's 10 hours a day. 20 hours of training over 2 days. Why do we do 10 hours a day, Sean, of back-to-back workshops? We do a 30-minute teaching session. We do a 15-minute question and answer session, and then we take a break. 30 minutes of teaching, 15 minutes of question and answer, then we take a break. Why do we do that format, Sean?
That format is so that we can keep people engaged and not just sitting there listening, but also getting involved. We really encourage people to ask questions, and that's really where the juiciness of the conference comes out, is you can put your personal situation and your questions on the board, and Clay will tee off and give you direct advice. Even without being in our coaching program, you can get direct coaching from Clay. It's really a very engaging format. I enjoy it a lot.
Once again, folks, this event is April 9th and 10th, 2026. Get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. Whoa. Who's our keynote speaker coming to the conference there, Sean?
Tim Tebow is our keynote speaker.
Sean, question number 3. How much does it cost to come to our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
I think it's, did you say it's $250 or whatever you can afford?
That's right, $250
Yes.
or whatever you can afford. Sean, how do you spell Eric Trump backwards?
P-M-U-R-T-C-I-R-E. Ooh, that took a long time.
I'll have to listen to this. And you did it right. All right, again, that's Sean Lohman. I'm Clay Clark, inviting you to come join us at the in-person Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive workshop. This event is April 9th and 10th, 2026. Get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. Right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tim Tebow, baby. It's Tebow time.
Oh, yeah.
In Tulsa, Jerusalem.
Doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Hey guys, Luke Erickson here with the Thrivetime Show. As you can see behind me, we've got all kinds of energy going on. People are starting to show up for the conference, and it is hot in this place. We got grill guns over here. We've got people playing the drums. We've got a fire breather, and man, people are so excited as they come in. The conference is kicked off. This house is packed. We've got Eric Hansis with Sean Holmes up there. We've got Steve Currington with Total Lindy Concepts up there talking about what is possible when you just implement, when you do the proven system. It's so exciting. People are going crazy. Guys, Luke Erickson with the Thrivetime Show here with you. It is day 2 and the energy is high. People are so excited to be showing up. The team is ready. Come on, let's see what it's like to go on in for day 2. Follow me.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas, and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrivetime, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. So I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days?
I heard about it on the podcast. Started listening to the podcast, became a fan, and then figured out about the workshop. I own an insurance and financial services agency, and I was hoping to learn from the workshop systems and processes. I'm big on systems and processes and always learning better ways to run a business more efficiently. The atmosphere's second to none. It's a high energy, really cool atmosphere to be around. Contagious, I would say. Just something every entrepreneur, I think, would appreciate and love. I'd say humorous, high energy, and full of substance, which I think is the key. A lot of business coaches or seminars maybe are high on motivation and making you feel good, but don't have a lot of substance that you can take back and implement, the following Monday, where his does. Man, there's a lot of valuable things. I'm gonna say, this is my second workshop. The first workshop I took back really the importance of a group interview. I used to spend hours and hours interviewing people, screening resumes, and that saving my time on that part is valuable. It was that and then the sales scripting that have been two major things just so far. Man, I think they're missing out on, expert advice from somebody who's been there, done that, built companies, has learned a lot of lessons. That's what I'm always looking for, is somebody that I can learn from that's ahead of where I am. And I think if you choose not to come, you're missing out on a lot of good advice that could help your business.
Hi, this is Charles and Amber Koloff. We're the owners of Koloff Fitness. We heard about Clay Clark through Paul Hood, our CPA. We've worked with Clay Clark for the last 2 years. Clay Clark has helped us take our 3 locations in 3 different states and create checklists, workflows, task lists, time blocks for every employee. He's helped us with creating systems and audits for every department, quantitative scorecards for each department and every position so that everybody has a number. It's been able to give us a lot of time freedom and financial freedom and peace of mind to know that everything's running efficiently, and he's been helpful with a lot of marketing, search engine optimization, helping us really rank high in Google, and pretty much every area of the business. It's been very, very helpful.
We would describe the experience of working with Clay as very energetic. He's full of energy. He's very encouraging, very motivating, but also accountable. So he keeps us accountable, and we love that accountability. It keeps our drive in the right direction, so we're not chasing things that aren't worth spending our time on.
Yeah, he's a great coach. He helps push us on certain areas, helps coach us in certain areas. We're all emotional creatures, and we go up and down, and he actually will tell us kind of where we're at, how we can get from there, and even emotionally, when we're stressed about something, he'll have a story to relate to, and it really helps us in every area of our business. It's been very, very helpful.
I think Clay's ability to have a whole team behind him that help him with all of his clients, all his coaching clients, is that it allows Clay to do what he's really good at, and that's working one-on-one with the client and coaching them. And then he can have his amazing staff come in and help you accomplish all these goals that you're setting.
And of course, he has all these resources, whether it's videographers or whether it's web developers, that they can quickly jump on your project, knock things out. He can quickly give you the right coaching. He's just got a whole team of people that whatever area you're lacking in your own company, he's got resources from video, web design, search engine guys who are just knowledgeable in that. Even though he knows a lot of that stuff, he's got these capable lieutenants that are ready to just take off and help you get that stuff. More stuff gets done on a weekly basis than you would on probably most than the individual or some other. We've worked with several companies before, and it's just not as many things get done on a weekly basis, so it's been very helpful. Well, the conferences for me, I'm a slow learner, so I have to learn over and over again, hear things over and over again. I've been to I think 8 different conferences, and each time you come, I learn a few new components. Some things are repetitive, but a lot of the stuff just resettles, and I get a little bit more depth into each component. So I mean, I've been to 8 of them. They're all super entertaining. He's very funny, very encouraging. You get to kind of self-reflect a lot. A lot of the stuff is really polarizing. You do a personal inventory of yourself, and you'll think like, hey, I've really got to work on this, really got to work on that. So every time you come, I still get a lot of value out of it.
And as much as every conference is the same, it's totally different. So I think we'll hear stories we haven't heard before. He'll have entertainment, or he'll have speakers he didn't have before. And you, like you said, you just always catch a different part of the material that maybe you didn't catch before, or it's worded differently.
And it's really cool because some people that you've seen like a year ago at a conference, now they're being showcased as a success story, and you get to see their website, you get to see how their stats, all their metrics have improved and the revenue improved. So it's really cool to see people that just a year ago, that of course we've been here 2 years, that just came, that I met, is now being successful. It's really encouraging to see other people, accomplish that stuff. So Clay has helped us optimize our website and helped with really topping the right search engines that we need to make sure that we are very, very competitive with all of our other competitors. He's done, basically he outlines exactly what you need to be accomplishing, and he creates tasks that we have to accomplish and his team has to accomplish. And I would say over the last 2 years, we've totally ramped our website. We're topping Google in every one of our markets. We're just doing, I would say, just doing really, really good. I feel very, very confident in all of our future locations and making sure that we're in front of the ideal and likely buyer. It's very encouraging. It's important to me to know when I'm working with Clay, I've been in business for a while and met with him even when I already had three businesses in 3 different states. And to know that what I share with him is staying private. He's not sending that out to anybody else. To know that when he's working with me, he's only working with no other gyms that are in direct competition with me. It's very encouraging to have somebody you can trust and rely on, that he isn't going to somehow tell your trade secrets or give information away. Just really awesome that he's a trustworthy guy, really cares about you as a client. For us, it's been a complete mind freedom because Clay has helped us create a lot of different documents and one-sheets for every department, put quantitative scorecards to each department. And so for us, it's been very encouraging and gives us peace that when, as an entrepreneur, it's stressful. You go to bed at night and you're worried, did we cover this, did we cover that? So he helps extract everything out of your brain, everything from your business, put it into document creation, put it into checklists and workflows for every person in each department, and make sure that everything's getting done every week, every month, and funnel that all into KPIs or key performance indicators that you can see on a weekly basis to make sure you're moving the needle in the right area of your company. So it's very encouraging and give you a complete mind freedom and peace to know that stuff's created so you're easy to duplicate and scale your company.
Right, and then we can spend time doing what we're really good at and just trust the system.
I honestly believe everybody needs a coach. I think we're all inherently lazy and selfish and carnal. I truly believe that humans are humans. If we're standing, we'd rather sit. If we're sitting, we'd rather lay down. And if we're laying down, we'd rather be asleep. So to have somebody that challenges you, have real active candor, and be honest with you on every aspect of your company is really, really encouraging to me, because I want to know, I want to work on what we're weak at. I want to see any areas that we're not doing well in, and see his perspective from a third party, because you can look at your own business and just see the good. It's good to have somebody who does this, who's done this with hundreds of companies. Really look at your company, reflect on your company, and see little chinks in the armor to make sure you cover that up so your competition can't get to you, and that you're successful overall in the big picture. So yes, I would recommend Clay Clark because he is a great friend, a great encourager. To me, he's been a wonderful friend. He's also, you can tell he cares, and he has this wealth of knowledge. He's worked with so many different companies and different businesses. He could take a concept that he's used before in the past with somebody totally different industry and see how it would work perfectly for you in whatever niche market you're in or whatever type of service you're providing. And so his brain is just a wealth of knowledge, And just to have that type of perspective on, as a part of your team and your own company is huge, it's super valuable. So I would definitely encourage people to use him. But one thing is, you got to be coachable. You got to be wanting to get feedback. You got to be wanting to really grow your company. You got to want to put that extra 10 hours a week to working on your business and not just in your business. And so, yes, I would recommend it to anybody who's wanting to grow their company and provide great systems, checklists, workflows, great encouragement, and have accountability.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us. And it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it, because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love building relationships, but one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. The processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due, and Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you, so congratulations.
And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. Hi, I'm Kelsey with K&D's Woodward Finishing, business owner at 23. So I've been working this K&D's company for about 5 years now, and we started working with Thrive not too long ago. And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. that's what we're going to hit or exceed. So we're pretty excited about that. It's been pretty much just listening to what they have to say. Their hiring process has just really been incredible as far as finding good quality help, and the just the accountability of meeting up with them weekly, and like such good insight, the resources that they have for specific business questions. It's all been really incredible. It's been a great experience, so I would recommend it to anybody.
What I've seen from Clay and his group at Thrive is they'll give you a simple system, and it's the simple systems are the ones that people can wrap their brain around. They're the ones that people can work with on a day-to-day basis.
Hi there, my name is Stephanie Pipkin. I am 24 years old and I own Black River Falls Cleaning Services. We opened in April of 2019 and it is now mid-June of 2020. So I wanted to talk today about the success and growth I have achieved by implementing the Proven Path with Clay Clark's team and my business coach Luke from Thrivetime. It has been insane to say the least. I started working with them in mid-February of this year, so we're about 4 months in of working together, and it has completely transformed my business in pretty much every facet. So I'm gonna check my notes here. So in 4 months, my leads have tripled. I was getting probably like 2 leads a week. Now I'm getting more in the like 10 to 15 leads a week. I have doubled my number of employees. I'm now hitting the highest revenue weeks in the history of the company, week to week it seems like. We went from about 6 appointments today as our highest in February to now 14 to 15 appointments a day. And hiring quality employees has become much simpler and less stressful by using their systems for hiring. I typically only get maybe 2 complaints a month, if that, and everybody shows up to work. I just have really high quality employees now, especially in something people typically consider a high turnover type of work, you know, cleaning houses, cleaning businesses. I have amazing employees now, and I get rid of the ones who are not so amazing and bring on new ones because of, you know, group interviews and interviewing every single week. It's just been great, and such I don't waste as much time on low quality candidates anymore. And your coach will hold you accountable. I mean, which I love. Again, the tough love is really great. You know, Luke's like a stern father figure, but he's also nice, but also stern when he needs to be when I'm being lazy and not doing the things that I know I need to do because I don't want to do them. So that's just great. Worth every penny. I mean, I'd pay him $1 million a month if I can, and maybe someday I'll be able to, but I would just say go for it. If it seems like a good fit, just go for it. Do what they say, even if you think it's stupid or ridiculous, just do what they say because it'll work. You know, people, when they look at my business, you know, people in my town, they think I'm lucky. They think I'm just, you know, things just happen for me. And, you know, maybe I am lucky, but it has a lot to do with hard work and, you know, perseverance and, you know, working till you cry sometimes. That's just being an entrepreneur, which if you're a business owner, you understand that. But it's having these systems in place of, you know, of course I'm going to be successful. It's an absolute because I have all this stuff in the background happening, and I have Luke and Clay and everybody on their team working really hard to make sure that I'm a success. And I can tell that they are just so excited every single week when I'm having all these wins and things like that. They're so excited for me. So it's the best thing ever, and I would suggest to anybody to work with them. So sorry for the long-winded reply, but I just had so much to say, and I could go on for hours probably about how amazing they are. But thank you to Clay and Luke and the entire team there, everything you guys have done for me, and I am so excited to continue to work with you for years to come. Thanks so much for watching.
My saying is, if it's important to you, hire a coach. And I think that's one of the reasons people are not successful is they eat a cheeseburger instead of hiring a coach, you know what I mean? And so my coach pushes me. They're younger than me. They push harder. They're trained. And as my rich dad always said, you know, amateurs don't have a coach, but professionals always have coaches. So I've always had coaches for whatever is important. You know, my rich dad was one of those persons. I wanted to learn how to play Monopoly in real life. saw you as my coach.